Hi everyone, and welcome to part 2 of the speed build for Riverside Suburban. So just in case you stumbled across this video and haven't seen the first part of the speed build, I'll put a card linking to that in the video. But in this part, we are of course going to be finishing up the house and furnishing the remaining 2 floors of it. And I'm just starting things off with the main area on the upper floor, and there's this awkward 2x2 area in there that I just stuck a couch in because I wasn't really sure what to do with this space, so I figured it would make a nice little reading nook since there are some bookshelves nearby. And originally I was just gonna make all the furniture in this area neutral colors to go with the more neutral color scheme that has been in the main the main areas of this house so far, but I figured since this is supposed to be an area for kids, it should maybe be a little bit more colorful, so yeah, I went with the green couch instead of just a boring old gray one. And then we have that cushion from movie hangout stuff to add another pop of color to it. And yeah, I like how that looks. So up here there are 3 bedrooms. There's the master bedroom, there is a kid's bedroom, as well as a toddler bedroom. And as I mentioned in the last part, there is a 4th bedroom in this house, but it's in the basement, so we'll get to that soon enough. And right now I'm just putting in a little seating area looking out over the balcony just because I thought that'd be nice, so Sims can sit up there and look down into the living room or look out into the yard, since there is a nice view of the yard through the large 2-floor, well, they're not really 2-floor windows, but it's just 2 floors worth of windows. So yeah, you get a nice view of the backyard from that. And that actually made me really wish that they had 2-floor windows in the Sims 4. There, I'm gonna mix up my words. In the Sims 4. Just because I really liked having that in The Sims 2, and I don't think they brought back 2-floor windows since then. Yeah, I don't think The Sims 3 had 2-floor windows, so that's something that I hope they bring back, but yeah, I don't know if they bring that back in the Sims 4. I mean, they don't have yeah, I don't think we have 2-floor windows in The Sims 4, I'm pretty sure we don't, but yeah, I'm not sure if they would ever put those back in because of how the room system works, but oh well, who knows, maybe someday they'll add that back in. But anyway, we have finished the main area out there, so now we're on to the master bedroom, and I was a little unsure of where to go with this bedroom at first, but in the end I decided to keep with that more neutral color scheme that we've seen throughout the main areas, because I just imagine that that's perhaps a taste of the parents who own this house. Like, they just kind of like that sort of a plain color scheme, but then the kids areas are a little bit more colorful, as if it was furnished more towards the kids' liking. And this room is just such an odd long shape that I just stuck some columns in there to break it up a little bit, so it kind of separates it between the area where the bed is, and then there's also the sitting area at the window end of the room with a nice TV in it, so they can just sit and relax and watch some TV together, I suppose. So that ended up working out pretty well, and there's a few pops of color in this room, but I mean, still, it's not really that colorful. I mean, we got a little bit of color from the blue on the couch, but I mean, still overall, it's pretty neutral, not a ton of color in here. But I still like how it looks. I feel like it has a very elegant feel to it, and it was kind of tricky to figure out what to do with some of the space, because you just had that long wall, and then I couldn't really stick anything at the foot of the bed to break apart that wall, because then Sims probably wouldn't be able to get through. But yeah, in the end I just stuck a bookshelf in there, and then we got a painting on the remaining bit of wall that's left between that and the door to the bathroom. And then here I was getting the wallpaper into the closet because yeah, in the floor plan I was kind of basing this off of, I think it had a laundry room at the laundry room next to the stairs, like kind of where I put that kids sitting area, and we don't have laundry in The Sims, so I couldn't really put in a laundry room. And then I didn't really want to make it another bedroom because then it would just be a super teeny bedroom, so I just put in well, actually I think the floor plan had a big walk-in closet, so yeah, I just kind of used that to take up the space. And then there was an awkward bit of space left over because I didn't want the closet to be too huge, so that's what I turned into a sitting area. But right now we're working on the bathroom, and I really like how this bathroom turned out. And this was the first bathroom where I really got to use the bathroom stuff that came with this game pack, and you could just make really fantastic looking bathrooms with this game pack. So I had a lot more fun than I usually do furnishing bathrooms, because usually, I don't know, I struggle a little bit with furnishing bathrooms. I just kind of tend to do similar things with them just because they're not really my favorite rooms to furnish, but the stuff with this game pack just makes it so much more enjoyable, and I really want to put the stuff from this game pack to use more in future builds. And I actually started on a new build this week using some of the stuff from this game pack, but rather than it being just a family home or a family apartment. I'm actually making a kind of a country cabin because in the overview I did for the game pack, I said how I was thinking that some of the items that came with this pack could work well in sort of a country chic style build. So I was originally gonna make a country chic apartment, but none of the apartments really had the right dimensions or feel for what I was thinking of for that kind of a build. So I ended up just making a whole new build from scratch. So it's just this little 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom cabin, and I'm a bit of the way done with it. I still have most of the furnishing to do, because I just ended up doing that this week because, as I talked about in the last part of the speed build, I had to get up super early 2 days this week, and I just had a feeling that I wasn't really gonna feel like recording after getting up so early, and yeah, I was right about that. But even though I was super tired, I still wanted to do a little bit of YouTube related stuff, so I decided just to start on a new build. So hopefully I can get that finished soon, and the video I'm aiming to get up next weekend. We'll see how it goes though. I mean, it's a small build, so it shouldn't take too long to finish. Yeah, I got the outside of it pretty much done, but I still have to furnish it, and yeah, I just chose to do something really small because after this build, I just want to take a break from the big builds and just make something little that I could finish pretty quickly, although due to the fact that I was pretty tired, I was a bit slower with building it than usual, because like over the course of 2 nights, all I got done was just the outside of this little cabin because I was so tired that I would build for like half an hour and then just be like, okay, I'm done with this. But I still had fun with it. I just want to do what I could because on Tuesday, I just got this urge to start a new build, even though I was running on only 2 hours of sleep because I had to get up at 4 and I was stupid and didn't even start to try going to sleep until around 11:30. But I mean, even if I had tried to fall asleep at 8 or 9, I don't think it would have happened unless I took sleeping pills or something like that. But I prefer not to mess with that kind of stuff, so I just figure like what's the point in going to bed at 8 anyway, because I'm just gonna sit there for like 3 hours not falling asleep at all. But yeah, I did that whole thing where you're like, okay, I gotta get up at 4 hours, so I have to fall asleep now if I want to get 4 hours of sleep, you know, where you make the mistake of checking the time and going like, okay, I've got 3 hours of sleep I could get if I fall asleep this instant, and then you don't fall asleep, and then an hour later, like, okay, 2 hours if I fall asleep now, and I just kept doing that and making the mistake of looking at the time and realizing that I only had 2 or 3 hours or whatever left to sleep, and yeah, in the end, I think I got about 2 hours of sleep, because I know I was up at like 1, and then at that point I had 3 hours left, and then I didn't fall asleep for a while after that. It was just 2 hours of awful sleep. Yeah, sometimes when I know I need to get up really early, I just get really anxious about the fact that I'm not falling asleep, and I keep telling myself, you gotta fall asleep right now, and then I don't fall asleep because I'm trying so hard to fall asleep, and it's that whole annoying thing. But then Thursday was a little bit better because I gave myself more time to wind down before going to sleep, and I went to bed at an early time, and then instead of getting up on 4 like I did Tuesday, I didn't have to get up until 5, so I got 5 hours of sleep that night, so still not ideal, but I was functioning a lot better than I was on Tuesday. But I still didn't quite have as much energy as I would have liked to record a video. So yeah, that's why I'm getting this video up now, because I just figured it was better to wait till I would sound a little bit more lively in the commentary, I guess. I just didn't want to sound half asleep and all that. Ooh, and another thing I did this week was I also sort of started a current household, because it's been the longest time since I've just had a family that I played with on my own, but I also just had an urge this week to make a family to start playing with, because I really wanted to make a family to explore the Parenthood game pack on my own with, because I'm not going to be starting a Let's Play for that, but I will still be exploring it in my current Let's Plays. But I just really wanted to make my own family to experience some of the stuff from that with on my own. So yeah, I made this family. I didn't really actually get to play with it much, but I made a backstory for this current household just to help me get into it a little bit more. So what I came up with is that I have a main sim who is a young adult who is out living on her own and just getting into her career and all that, and then her sister and brother-in-law unexpectedly pass away, so she ends up taking care of their children, because they have 2 daughters, one's a teenager and one's a toddler. So, you know, she's just getting established in her life, and then all of a sudden she has the responsibility of caring for her sister's children. So she doesn't have a lot of money, and they're all living in this cramped space together just because I wanted there to be a little bit of that struggle you have when you're first starting out with not a lot of money. And I did that instead of just making, typical two parents and their two kids living in a, perfect happy home or whatever, because I really wanted to explore this game pack in a way that's a bit different than that. And I would just want to explore some different family relationships, but I also didn't want to do like a single mother or a single father kind of a thing. So yeah, I thought having an aunt raise her two nieces would be kind of an interesting thing to play around with. And yeah, the main sim, I kind of based her character off of Kimmy Schmidt because I just recently finished the 3rd season of that, and I kept imagining Kimmy Schmidt as I was making the sim because she's also a redhead. So she just has a very cheerful, sweet, and kind of naive personality, and I made her a cop because she's good and wants to help out everyone. And then I also made the teenage daughter or niece a kleptomaniac because I thought it'd be interesting to have a cop raise a teenager who has a tendency to steal things. And unfortunately, I spent so much time making the Sims and kind of getting them situated in their apartment that I didn't really get a whole lot of time to play with them because after I did all that, I was kind of tired. So yeah, hopefully I'll have enough time to go back in later and play around with them a bit because I really like what I've set up. So yeah, hopefully I can have time to get into that and play with them more because I'm kind of worried that I spent this time setting up these Sims and then I'm not actually going to really be able to play with them. But I don't know, maybe I'll try to set aside like an hour or two a week to play with them, and if I do end up getting into it, I might try making current household videos because that's not something I've done before and I've wanted to do, but I haven't had a current household to actually share in that. So yeah, a month from now, if I actually get into this, maybe that's something I'll try doing. Anyway, the whole upper floor is done, so now we are on to the basement. And I rarely do basements in homes, but a while back I said that I really wanted to make a family home with a basement in it, and I decided that this would be the perfect home to actually do that in, but unfortunately that did make this home take a lot more time to furnish because I think at the point where I finished the upper floor, I had about 36 minutes of footage, so at that point I probably would have made it into one video, but then it was just another 10 minutes to furnish this whole basement, so yeah, that was why I ended up just splitting into 2 parts. But I still had a lot of fun with this basement, and this whole main area in here is just kind of a rec hangout party sort of an area. So over in this area we have just a really nice TV area, so there's actually a bigger, nicer TV than there is upstairs, and I have seen that a lot where in the basement of a home you'll have just either really big projection screen or that's where you'll have the really big TV rather than up in the living room. But yeah, I guess that's because in the basement you tend to have a little more space where you can do that because there aren't a bunch of windows all over the walls. And over here I'm putting in a bar area, and I really like how it looked to use that tile in this bar area, and it just made this whole bar area look so nice. And in addition to the whole hangout area that's here in the basement, there's also home gym, the teen bedroom that I've mentioned a few times, and then that one room off to the left side was just supposed to be an unfinished workspace, I guess. I wasn't really sure what to do with it, so I just turned it into an area that wasn't quite finished with a woodworking station in it. I don't know, I figured that would be a useful thing to do with it. I mean, it is a basement, so I figured it made sense to have a space that was kind of unfinished down here. And oh, there's also a karaoke machine that I put against the back of this room, and then we've got a foosball table, and I was gonna put in some chairs looking at the karaoke machine, but then just looked kind of weird, so I just ended up sticking the foosball table in that space, which yeah, ended up working a bit. Oh, there's also a dartboard, so there's just a whole bunch of cool stuff that you can have your Sims do down here. So that'll probably make this a pretty fun house to play in, although I think due to the size of this house, it would probably be sort of difficult to play in because I find that when you have a house in the game this size, you just end up losing your Sims in it, and you're just spending a bunch of time trying to keep track of where everyone is. So I actually prefer playing in smaller homes just because I find them so much easier to manage, because in the past when I just played the game on my own a lot more, I would always get kind of bored with households once they started to get a lot of money and live in this huge house. Like, I just find it more enjoyable to play when they're just kind of in the beginning and they're struggling a little bit with money and they're, moving up through the ranks in life. kind of curious to hear what kind of Sims you all like to start out with, because I have talked to some people who like to start out with Sims with a lot of money living in large homes just because it's kind of a way for them to play out a fantasy life. So it's always interesting to hear what different people like to do when starting out with new Sims. But am I working on this room now, or was I just sticking stuff in it? Oh, I am working on this room. I thought I did one of the other rooms down here first before getting to this one, but yeah, we're just working on that unfinished woodworking hobby room that I was talking about. So we just got some exposed pipes in here, and I really wish they had some kind of furnace decoration, because I would have definitely put that in here. And then again, like an item that looks like a furnace isn't really on my list of top things that I want to see in the game. But I don't know, maybe it would be kind of neat to have some more stuff that you could use to create what looks like an unfinished basement, because a lot of homes have basements that aren't finished, or they're partially finished, where you'll just have, you walk downstairs and you'll come into an area that's finished, and then you go off through a door, and then you'll just have the area where the furnace is and everything that isn't finished. But yeah, I just imagine this as the workspace for a sim who lives in this house who's really into woodworking, so they just do all that down in this room, and then some of their creations are on display down here, and then it's also a little bit of a storage area, so we just have some junk sitting down here in the corner. And I added a few of those spider webs in to go with that. This is an area that, like the stuff that's in there hasn't really been touched in a while. But we're done with that room, so now we are on to the gym. There's not really a whole lot to this, but if you did want to put a 5th bedroom in this house, then you could pretty easily just turn this into another bedroom, because I believe it's the same size that all the bedrooms are, because the 3 bedrooms other than the master bedroom are all the same size. So yeah, you could just put it in a closet in this room if you want and turn it into a bedroom, and move the door into the same hallway that the bathroom and the bedroom is off of, so it's all just kind of down in the same area. But yeah, I believe I'm just about done with this room, just trying to figure out what to do to fill in that little bit of wall space. So I think I just ended up putting in this whole shelf thing. Not sure if it really makes a whole lot of sense just to have the protein powders and supplements and stuff sitting there, but oh well, I mean, it kind of fits a gym, so I just stuck it in there. And here we are working on the bathroom for the teenager sim. So once again, I just had a lot of fun furnishing this, and I tried to use different colors of that wallpaper in the different bathrooms, and yeah, that's just such a perfect wallpaper for bathrooms. And I love all the different shower curtain colorings that shower tub combo come with, because the other shower tub combos we have are all right, but I just like this one so much more, in that you can just use it to personalize the bathrooms a bit more than just having a glass door and just, different color swatches of the same kind of curtain. Here I'm working on the teen bedroom, and I went with the blue and orange color scheme for this because I wanted to go with the colors that I chose for the bed. And I imagine this room as being for a sim who's into music and skateboarding, because I put up a few band posters, and then I also put up that one skateboarding wall decoration that came with the game pack. And I really wanted to have a bedroom for each of the different age groups of this build, just so I could use some of the different items that came with them, or came for them. Although, unfortunately, there wasn't really a whole lot that came with toddlers in this game pack, which I was kind of disappointed by, because I was hoping that we would get some more toddler beds, but no, unfortunately, we didn't. I don't really remember what furniture there was for toddlers that came with the stuff pack, but yeah, I don't think there was really a whole lot. Like, there weren't any new toddler toilets or high chairs, although they can use a building block table, so that's something that they can do. But it still felt to me like this game pack was lacking in the toddler department a little bit, although I mean, they're toddlers, so there's only so much they can do. But I don't know, still, it would have been nice to me to see a little bit more toddler-oriented items, although, I mean, we did get a good bit with that one patch that came out back in January. And there is a little bit more that they could do gameplay-wise now, like they can make messes, and there's some of the new parenting interactions you can do with them, like teaching them to say please and thank you and say sorry, I think. But I don't really remember if there was a whole lot in the parenting menu other than that. I don't think there was, because I don't think you could discipline them like you can children and toddler or teens, which I guess makes sense, because I don't know if you could really easily ground a 2-year-old. Like, I don't know if they would really listen to you if you tried to do that. But anyway, we are almost finished with this room. I'm just getting in the last bit of decorations. And yeah, I also wanted to remind you that if you want to download this, there's a link to do so in the description, and also have stuff in there on how to find it in-game. And that is about all I have to say, so yeah, I hope you enjoy the rest of the video.